welcome to episode 2 of the Strodelive 22 interview series. Today we've got Tristan Hill on. How you doing, man?
I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. So you recently released a project.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Called New Romantic Lies. I remember when you announced it. It was on New Year's Eve at midnight.
Yeah.
New Year's Day at midnight.
Yeah.
So it must be a huge relief to have it done then, finally.
It is, yeah. It's a massive relief, not gonna lie. I think that's one of the biggest feelings, like initially for me anyway, when I just got, I got my assignment submitted like in the nick of time, probably knowing me like 2 minutes before it was due. And then I got it all. It was all put up there at the right time, surprisingly, because I thought, because of the size of the project as well, I thought that the service that I use to actually put everything up on the streaming platforms and on like available to download websites like iTunes and Google Play, all those, I thought that would have taken ages, but it only, I think it took just under like maybe 10 days, something like that. So
fair play.
Like for 9 songs as well, which I suppose is a smaller album, but but I was still quite pleasantly surprised about it anyway. So yeah, and considering the kind of some of the like, I don't know, I just tried to be as honest and try and make it as much as an extension of myself as I could. Well, like from the time that I was writing it anyway. So yeah, that was more or less what I was trying to do.
Yeah, that's excellent, man.
Thank you.
So, about the title track,
Yes.
New Romantic Lies.
Mm-hmm.
That's been in the works for a very, very long time.
It really has. Yeah, I think you know it as well. You probably, I think everyone in this room and probably everybody on my entire course realises that, because like I probably play it once at least whenever I pick up a guitar, because that's always what it's been for me. So yeah, like you said, like I've had that one guitar line that you can hear like prominently on the track. I've had that for around about probably something like 3 or 4 years already. So, and obviously never considered myself as like a singer-songwriter or anything like that, or much of a guitarist. It's just something that I actually just figured out how to play on my own and came up with just by feeling around, and lo and behold, that's kind of been the process ever since, really. But I think it's like that for most musicians who want to make their own music, because I got to a stage where I felt that's what I wanted to do. And I had this one thing that I knew for a fact was, well, I like to think that it was quite cool and it was really good. That like someone who had no idea what they were doing as well kind of just stumbled along this like quite nice melodic little line. So I was like, okay, well, I suppose I'd be an idiot if I didn't do anything with it. So that was the first step. But I put a lot of pressure on myself trying to actually like construct it in a way that I was really, really happy with, and felt like it came from the same place that, just finding that piece of music in the first place came from. So that was a struggle, but yeah, that was more or less how I came up with like the instrumental side of it, I suppose, and then everything else kind of just fell into place. And the best songs on the project for me are the ones that felt like that, and I think you can tell which ones those ones are. So yeah.
The most organically written songs tend to be the best written, in my opinion. Yeah,
definitely. Because I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I, that just to mention, by the way, that this isn't our first try.
We recorded this interview earlier.
We did. And it went really well as well.
It was a really good interview.
It was kind of a good icebreaker.
That camera right there recorded 3 minutes of footage. 3 minutes of footage.
Especially with lyrics as well, they kind of just come sometimes when you least expecting it, or when you're like half your brain shut off and you kind of just finding yourself writing, like kind of like on a little bit of a journey, just like you start as one place and you end up somewhere completely different. And that you can reach that kind of place, but like despite wherever you might be, like I was just sat there really when I wrote the lyrics, well the final lyrics anyway for that track, and I'm quite happy that, to me, most of the lines complement each other, bit by bit. So they kind of it kind of sounds like on that one, like most of it. I like to think like not all songs and most songs don't have meaning, and they don't have to have meaning, but you can kind of derive your own meaning from that. So like any REM song, and REM are like my favorite band, or one of my favorite bands. So they're a good example. But yeah, it kind of feels like everything fell into place a little bit for that one. So I'm really happy with that, and I don't know if I'd change much of it lyrically anyway. So saying that, I kind of got inspired by that one, like from where I was at when I was writing it. So like I would be going out a lot of the time and just appreciating things like in a romanticized kind of way. Yeah. So whether that's like nature, just going on bike rides and stuff, just for the sake of seeing like like, because like the area that I live isn't very scenic at all, but when you actually you've seen, but like when you venture out a little bit, you find you happen to find yourself in like a really, really pretty areas actually, which is like just out in the county. So that was really cool to just stumble upon and just listen to my music as I was doing that. And a lot of that music was like a lot of 80s like synth pop and synth wave music, so that's where the whole new romantic idea comes from, I suppose. So that I kind of wanted to reference that a little bit, and I referenced a couple of other little like pop culture things here and there on there, and things like that. So
thematically throughout the project, it does seem like it all fits together very well, both sound-wise and kind of song topic-wise.
Yeah.
It does feel like you really know what you wanted to do with that, and like brought it together in a way where it's clearly a finished product. There's no like bits that you could have necessarily been like, oh, I'm gonna do this and make it fit with the sound better. It all fits together really nicely and makes a complete project.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. Like I try my best to do something like that, because like I was saying, I wasn't being, at times, a lot of the time, for I want to say at least half of the project, I wasn't really treating myself the best, and I wasn't being the most productive, not necessarily like in terms of workflow, but just to myself, like the way I was going about doing things, like my processes weren't really, like, they were more detrimental to me and like and maybe my mental health than actually to the music. And sometimes it's kind of an old adage that if you like if you try and put yourself through the ringer, or like under so much stress, that you can kind of just fish out like gold from that. And it's not always the case. Sometimes it is though, but I mean, I don't think that's going to change. Like I think that will definitely happen as part of the process. And I think most of the best art on the planet really comes from struggling. So
it does. Absolutely.
Obviously, if it didn't, like, what would you talk about really? So but I mean, I didn't struggle anywhere near as much as some people, but at the same time, like we were talking about earlier as well, that a lot of the topics on the actual album kind of try and I was gonna say justify, that's not the word, but like kind of like play with ideas of romance and romanticism and like a bit of heartache and like longing and things like that, and loneliness and
all very
nostalgia.
Human emotions.
Exactly. So like I knew for a fact that for the first thing that I was gonna make, I wanted to make something really honest and not necessarily talk from individual experience, but talk about like feelings for a fact that I know that I was feeling, and like just in everyday life about everything. Say hello and wave goodbye. So yeah.
My next question is about a band you're a part of, the Lamplighters.
Yeah.
Really interesting band, because you all tend to switch instruments and you're very diverse in your skill sets, and it creates a great sound.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was a little college outfit that Dan, our teacher, kind of helped us put together when we were just in class one time playing music together. and it's kind of just been that way ever since. We've just enjoyed playing music together, and at times writing a little bit of music, but you know, not taking ourselves too seriously. But we'd perform at college gigs as well, and gigs to promote the course, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been really fun, especially the fact that we're, you know, it's not like everybody has their like their role, and they have to stick to that, and that's kind of, you know, you do your job, and then I'll stand at the front and get all the plaudits. No, that's not really what we were trying to do. We just wanted to have fun and play different kinds of music and let other people play on other things, because, you know, we got some different musicians in that group that have loads of really great skills. So that's Fred, great at bass, great at the guitar. Josh, great at bass, great at the guitar. Like, he's getting into the drums as well, and he's really good. He performed so well at Unplugged when we played a couple of songs there. Jack goes without mention. Say hello, Jack. Yeah. On hand cameraman.
I got one final question.
Yeah, sure.
When you're done in this industry,
okay,
what do you want your legacy to be?
Oof, okay. That is a big question. That's a good question, though. Yeah, I don't know if I've even started in this industry yet, and like, by this industry, like, well, I would, you know, it's my dream for it to be the music industry, you know. So if I could have a standing legacy in the music industry, you know, fingers crossed. I think I'd want to have made something or a few different things that I'm proud of, and have just, like I said before, just kind of touched people, or like have really resonated with people. And I feel like I keep saying it kind of, but the best music is feels like it's come from a place that it's just been put in the public domain, so the public can make it their own. You know, it's theirs. So that's, if I could, it doesn't even have to be music. It could be anything that I do. If I can make anything like that stands the test of time a little bit, and I can be happy and doing a job that I want to do, or like making music, and I can just make anything I want with anyone I want, then I think that would be a really cool thing to be seen for and to be remembered for, I suppose. So yeah, that's generally what I would say. I mean, it's kind of pie in the sky stuff, but you know.
I've no doubt you can get that, man.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, like, if I could have it my way, but that is how it would be. So yeah, I suppose. But thank you for that question. That's a really cool question.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. It was really cool. And yeah.
New Romantic Lies is out now on Spotify, if you want to check it out, by Tristan Hill.
Yeah.
And we've got an event on the 13th of May.
Yes.
In the Victoria Building in Street.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to turn up and see us all perform, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cool, thank you very much.